All right, so today we're going to talk about one of the 308's children, and that's the 243 Winchester. Now, while granted, this is not a military load by any means, not all the loads I'm going to talk about in this series are, in case the pistol series didn't prove that. The 243 Winchester is by far one of the most popular hunting rounds in my area. I have no issue with the 243. By no means, it's a very flat shooting round. It's a very fast round with certain loadings. You can do a lot with it, especially if you hand load. But, I mean, 243, you're looking at a 6mm bullet over what is essentially a neck down 308 Winchester case. Neck down from 7.62 to 6. So you're getting a lot of pressure there. But the thing of it is, you're not going to find a bullet much heavier than 100 grains. So, I mean, you don't want to take anything too big. Like, frankly, I wouldn't go hunting with a 243 for anything bigger than a whitetail. As using it on people for like a combative cartridge, it would do it, but I would rather have a 308 at that point. But I mean, it would do the job. It is a very flat trajectory. So if I was in like a domestic counter sniper role or something like that, where I could take advantage of that flat trajectory at really long range, then it might be an option. But as a combative rifle, I'd have to go with its parent. So what I'm looking at is some ballistics information on there. Every 243 bullet I've ever found, me personally, was between 85 and 100 grains. So you're looking at the 100 grain soft points. You're typically looking at about 2950-ish for 1945 on the muzzle energy. The 95 grain stuff, you're looking at 2980 for 1873. 85 grain is where you start to get back up to what you were doing with 100 grain. You're looking at 3,200 feet per second at 1933. You can go down to the 80 grain, so you're stepping at 3,350. Now you're at 1994. Or you can go down even lower to the 58 grain, which I would actually like to see this round in person. The 58 grain VMAX at 3,925 feet per second with 1,984 pound-feet of energy. So when you look at those velocities, you have to understand that bullet's going to cover a lot of ground as the gravity is pulling on. So you're going to have a very flat trajectory. A 6mm cartridge on deer, anything like that, would absolutely do the business. But as a combative cartridge, I would have to start thinking about the Lee Navy. The Lee Navy didn't last long as a military cartridge. The 243, I don't know how well it would do. Although I could very well be wrong. Namely because we see the U.S. military going back to the 6.8 Common, which is very high velocity, much like the 243 is high velocity compared to the 308. So how well it would do, I don't know as a fighting cartridge, but as a deer hunting cartridge, it is great. A bunch of them have failed in that cartridge.